A home inspection can uncover a serious problem, create a long repair list, or completely change the direction of a real estate transaction. But what is the buyer actually allowed to request? And what is the seller required to repair? The answers may surprise you. Hi, I'm Wendy Gundry with RE/MAX of Santa Clarita. Before we begin, I missed last week's video because I became a grandma. It was a pretty wonderful reason to take a little break, but I'm back. And today we are talking about one of the most important parts of buying or selling a home, the home inspection. I have been helping families buy and sell homes since 1996, and I can tell you that inspections often create more questions and anxiety than almost any other part of escrow. Buyers worry that the inspector will discover something terrible. Sellers worry that they will receive a list asking them to repair everything in the house. Usually the reality falls somewhere in between. Let's begin with what a home inspection actually is. After an offer is accepted, the buyer typically has an investigation period written into the purchase agreement. During that time, the buyer may hire a professional home inspector to evaluate the visible and accessible areas of the property. The inspector may examine the roof, attic, foundation, plumbing, electrical system, heating and air conditioning, water heater, appliances, windows, doors, drainage, and other components of the home. The inspector is looking for safety concerns, signs of damage, items that are not functioning properly, and areas that may require further evaluation. An inspection is not a pass or fail test. Homes do not receive a perfect score, and even a beautifully maintained home will normally have items noted. Inspectors may mention a loose outlet cover, a dripping faucet, missing caulking, or a door that does not close properly. They may also identify more significant concerns, such as roof damage, moisture intrusion, electrical problems, foundation movement, or plumbing leaks. The report can be long. That does not automatically mean the home is in terrible condition. Inspectors document what they observe. Many reports include photographs, explanations, and safety information. A report may look alarming when you first open it, especially if it is 50 pages or longer. This is where perspective matters. Buyers should focus on the condition of the home, the age of its major systems, and any health, safety, or structural concerns. The goal is to understand what you are purchasing, not to make an older home look brand new. If you are the buyer, I recommend attending at least the final portion of the inspection whenever possible. This gives the inspector an opportunity to show you the findings and explain how the home operates. You can ask questions about maintenance. Reading a sentence in a report can feel very different from seeing the issue in person and hearing the inspector explain it. The general home inspection may also lead to recommendations for additional evaluations. For example, the inspector might suggest a licensed roofer or plumber. Depending on the home, the buyer may also consider a sewer inspection, chimney inspection, pool inspection, mold evaluation, or other investigation. Not every property needs every type of inspection. The appropriate investigations depend on the age, condition, and history of the home. Now let's talk about the question almost every buyer asks: what can I request from the seller? A buyer can generally submit a request asking the seller to complete repairs, provide a credit, adjust the price, or offer another solution. But submitting a request does not mean the seller automatically has to agree to it. The seller may agree to everything, offer an alternative, or decline. The outcome depends on the contract, the findings, the market, and the priorities of both parties. This is a negotiation. When I work with buyers, I help them separate the report into categories. First, are there significant health or safety concerns? Second, are there major systems that are not functioning properly? Third, Are there problems that could be expensive or cause additional damage? Finally, which items are normal maintenance or cosmetic preferences? A chipped tile and an active plumbing leak should not be treated the same way. The strongest repair requests are usually focused, reasonable, and supported by the inspection report or an evaluation from a professional. A request containing every small item in the report may distract from the concerns that truly matter. It can also make it harder to reach an agreement. Buyers should avoid deciding a problem is minor or major without getting enough information. A stain may be dry or indicate an active leak. That is why estimates are valuable. Now, let's look at the inspection from the seller's side. When you receive a repair request, it can feel personal. You may have lived in the home for years without a problem, and suddenly a report lists dozens of items. Review the request carefully before responding. The buyer is not necessarily criticizing the way you maintained your home. They are trying to understand the condition of a property they are preparing to purchase. Look at the seriousness of each item, the supporting documentation, the repair cost, and the effect your response could have on the transaction. Consider what might happen if the current buyer does not move forward. A material issue may need to be disclosed to another buyer, and the next buyer may raise the same concern. That does not mean you must agree to every request. It means the decision should be made with a complete understanding of the situation. If you agree to repairs, the work should be clearly defined. Both parties need to understand who will complete it, whether a professional is required, and when it will be finished. The buyer will usually have an opportunity to verify agreed upon repairs before closing. This is generally a chance to confirm that the agreed work was completed as stated. Sellers can take several steps before listing to make the process smoother. Check for leaks, damaged outlets, or missing smoke and carbon monoxide detectors. Replace dirty air filters. Provide access to the attic and electrical panel, and make sure inspectors can reach the major systems of the home. Gather permits, warranties, repair invoices, roof information, solar documents, and records for major improvements. This improves access and avoids surprises. Some sellers complete a pre-listing inspection. This helps identify problems early, but can also create new info to disclose. Discuss this as part of your overall listing strategy. Buyers should remember the inspection is only one part. They should also review seller disclosures, title info, insurance, neighborhood conditions, and HOA documents. One of the biggest mistakes buyers make is focusing so heavily on small inspection items that they forget the larger picture. Ask, do I still want this home? Does the home still fit my budget and plans? The inspection period exists to help you make an informed decision. One of the biggest mistakes sellers make is becoming defensive and refusing to consider a reasonable request. Keep the focus on the transaction and the cost. A good real estate agent should not make the decision for you. Your agent should explain options, evaluate info, and negotiate based on your priorities. Every home, report, buyer, seller, and transaction is different. The inspection helps you understand what you are purchasing or selling. The goal is not a perfect house. The goal is for both sides to understand the condition of the property and make informed decisions before moving forward. If you are thinking about buying or selling a home in Santa Clarita, contact me before you begin. I can help you through the inspection and negotiations. Comment inspection below if you would like my home inspection checklist. I'm Wendy Gundry with RE/MAX of Santa Clarita, serving your real estate needs at a higher level.